Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Okay, a little bit early. Okay, okay, where we go? Oh, we've got one person in the house already. Wow, that was quick. 15 minutes or so early. I think everything's working. The microphone's working. Yeah, but morning, Liz. Morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Is the sound okay? Picture maybe it's a little bit murky today because it was a bit of overcast, and it's been raining this morning, but it's not too bad now. John Thompson, hi Liz, good morning. Benjamin Law, good morning. Oh, already, here they come, 6. Thanks very much for joining us. Our thumbs up, that means everything's working, which is all good. So, yeah, so we've got many things to talk about today. Well, I've got many things to talk about today, but this is your chance and opportunity to have your questions answered by me. If you've got any questions, and if I can answer them, I will. And if I can't answer them, I can certainly direct you into the person or people that know the answers. Apart from tax, that is. Tax. Nobody knows the answers for tax yet, so we're still waiting, including me. I was sort of led up the pathway yesterday, listening to one YouTuber said, have a watch of my video and I'll tell you everything all about the tax. But the video went on for about 30 minutes, and at the end of it, there was still no right answer, still no answer, still no certain answer. So I've got me Retired and Living the Dream Australia mug, got some coffee. Greetings from the south of France. Oh, hello, the south of France. I think Trignac was the place I lived in for quite a while in the south of France, near the Pyrenees. Trignac. I did some work in a gîte business. It was owned by an English couple, bought a big barn and a house and converted into gîtes. Beautiful. One of the best gîtes I've ever stayed in. Trignac. Apparently, where the Three Musketeers, they had a scene in Trignac village. Very, very pretty, France. Popping while sounding. How, Les? Top of the morning to you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, Les. We are here at Kirkham, the best place here. Love it. Fantastic. If it's nice where you want to hang your hammock, stay there. Marvellous. As I said, I've travelled around the world for a couple of years, and I've got to say, this is probably one of the best places that I would wish to hang my hat and live, because it's got everything that I need, everything that I want. So there you go. Okie dokie. So yeah, okay. I'm just reading the comments here. Sorry for that. If anybody wants to ask some questions, either write question in capitals so it stands out amongst the chat, or put a Q before the question, and I then can answer the question if you've got any questions. But I apologise if I don't get round to answering your question straight away, because I might be answering somebody else's question. And what happens is that it scrolls up when people put comments on and things like that. So it actually, I might miss your question, but be assured, if you've got a question, I'll answer it. So if you just put a question mark again and ask the question. So I have missed a couple in the past few live streams, so I apologise about that. But I try to give full and precise answers as the best I can, and by doing that, I might miss other people's questions. So there we go. Yeah, John Thompson. So many options on the tax. Yeah. And as I say, I mean, I must get asked this 2 or 3 times a week with regard to what's going on with the tax. And in reality, I've had two tax experts. I contacted two tax experts with my situation, and I got two totally different answers. One guy said I'll pay tax, and the other tax guy said I won't. So which one is wrong? I'd prefer the one who says I have to pay tax is wrong, as opposed to the one who says I don't have to pay tax is wrong. But again, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Is it going to be prohibitively expensive to stay here, even if you have to pay tax of some sort? I doubt it. For me, for the ordinary working guy who lives on sort of the 50 to 60,000 baht a month, I don't think we're going to have too many problems. I can understand those who are worried, who are selling properties in their home country and using that money to be able to buy a property over here. Now, the tax implications for that is quite strong, really, and but there are loopholes around that. As I say, this guy that was talking about it yesterday, and the video that I watch is Chris, Retired and Working for You. He's done two tax videos, and the one that I watched yesterday, Chris from Retired and Working for You, he did another video with regard to tax. He was speaking to one of the tax advisors, and when it all comes to the nitty gritty, at the end of the day, they still don't know. They're sort of thinking about implementing a harsher, more severe tax to foreigners. But even the experts are saying if they do that, that's the death knell for Thailand. And they can't see them doing that. But the fact that it's been muted and it's being talked about, it gets a lot of people worried. But for me, personally speaking, I don't think it'll be ever too much for me to turn around and say, okay, that's enough. I'm going to leave Thailand. If it costs me another £100 a month, £200 a month, for me, it's still a price worth paying. But that's my own personal opinion. Okay, first question. Did you watch Retired Working for You interview with? Yeah, I was just on about that yesterday. Great video, in my opinion, and quite concerning about tax and repatriated money. Yeah. As I was just mentioning that, just as I've seen your question came up. Yeah, it's here we are in June. The Thai government sort of make these, or the Thai whoever writes it and makes it information for everybody, sort of puts this information out, and they don't back it up, or they can't back it up. Same with the visas. The 60-day visa was supposed to be on the 1st of June. Here we are halfway through, well, nearly all the way through June, and it still hasn't been implemented yet. And now they're talking about July. Is it going to be July? Is it not going to be July? The 180-day visa, there was great news about that. That's what everybody was after. Fantastic. Still no proper details about that yet. But they're still talking about it maybe, come into fruition in July sometime. No cast iron guarantees. So this is Thailand, the sort of fire the gun half cocked type of thing, and they don't have any further information, and they just let people guess. I think that maybe he's putting it out there to see what the reaction is going to be, to see whether it's, whether they're touching a raw nerve or a wrong button. I don't know. Thailand is Thailand. I love it for what it is. You've got to take the good and the bad amongst it, I suppose. Gary Johnson, question: how do you get my TM30 if my wife owns the house? I don't think it's called a TM30, that. But then there's a form. I forget the name of the form, but it is a form that your wife fills out to say that this is what makes me laugh. She allows aliens to stop in her house. Aliens, that's where it's classed as, is that you are an alien and you have permission to stop in your wife's house. So that's a special form. You can get that from the immigration office, or you can download it. Just go to the Thai immigration. There's every form that you can imagine is on the Thai immigration website, and it's all in English, and then you can download that form. I haven't got one to show you now, because at the end of the day, we're renting this house, so we've just got a rental agreement. Even though we're renting it to buy, we still have to have the rental form, and our landlady has already filled in the TM30, and I've got the notification put into my passport. It's a piece of paper that's stapled in there, so every time I do my 90 days, it's the same address. So yeah, it's a separate form, And basically what it is, it's for how many aliens are staying at your wife's house. And obviously, if you've got a foreigner son or a daughter or something like that, they'd be classed as an alien as well. So any foreigner that's stopping in your wife's house will have to be on this form. And you just produce that form, and that's easy enough to do. It's not difficult. And then you take that down to immigration, and then immigration will do a slip of paper which they'll staple into your passport. Job done. Yeah, but all too confusing for me. Yeah, it's confusing for everybody. I think it's confusing to the tax experts at the minute, because they say two tax experts give me two different bits of advice on the same information that I give them. Bill Simpson, hello Les, how are you, mate? I'm doing okay, but I've got a few things to say. Once we get past 3 o'clock, that's when I said I was going to start. But I've got a few things, because this is my last live stream in Thailand for a while. For those who follow the channel know I'm going back to England for at least a couple of months. It might be a little bit more. My sister's ill, so I'm going over to see my sister and give her support and encouragement and, be the nice brother. So it looks like I'll be staying there for at least a couple of months or so. So then I'll be doing a couple of live streams back in the UK. And so, yeah, this is my last Sunday here in Thailand. So I'm making the most of it. I'm cutting the grass, doing all the hedges, doing everything so my wife doesn't have to do it, because my wife will be going back to her mother's as well up in Karat. So basically for 2 or 3 months, the garden isn't going to get touched unless we get a gardener. And then we've also got another problem that we have to try and sort out before I go. And that's quite a big problem, but I'll come on to about that a little bit later on. Somebody on the chat might be able to help me out with that. Somebody has helped me out with it, but it might be able to help them out with it. All will be revealed a little bit later. Bognor, another sunny day in Bognor. It's summer, isn't it? Everybody should have a sunny day. But Bognor Regis should have a lot more sunshine. I'll send it over here. This morning with thunder and lightning and a storm this morning. But now it's just a little bit overcast. But because it's the rainy season, it's much, much cooler, which is nice. Yeah, type my question prior to your answer. Thoughts on the new tax affecting the 800,000 baht requirement for a retirement visa, or the monthly income requirements to satisfy. Now, I had a little bit. Okay, I'll answer yours in a minute, John. I had a chat with, again, one of my other subscribers, and he thought he could dodge the tax. He was having the 65,000 baht method. He was doing the 65,000 baht method for income for his visa. So obviously, because he gets 65,000 baht a month coming in, that shows he's getting money from abroad. So his sort of workaround was he was going to put 800,000 baht in the bank, and then draw his money out using his bank card from the UK. So using an ATM, and he was going to set the amount that he could withdraw to the maximum he could, and I think it was about £300 or £400 or something like that he could draw out of the ATM. And coming back onto your comment about watching Chris, the tax guy says if you don't have the money going directly into the bank and you just draw it off the ATM, then that's sort of a little loophole that you can get around paying your tax. But it's about £5 every time you draw some money out. So that's what my friend was going to do in an effort to try and evade paying the tax, was use his 800,000 baht so he can get his retirement visa, and that's no problem. And then he doesn't have to show that he's having money coming into his bank. But then I think the immigration could ask him where is he getting his income to stay here. So I think that it's going to create some more questions as well from immigration. I don't know, but that's how he thought he could get around paying tax over here. And he also said he can donate money to his girlfriend. And so already the tax people are putting loopholes in, or finding loopholes for everybody. But yeah, I agree, it can be complicated. Okay, John, the flight, how much was the flight? Now, there was 2 flights I looked at. One of them was going direct with Thai Airways, and that was a direct flight, 12 hours, 45 minutes. Now, I've done them before, and it's a long time sitting in the plane, long time. And I was never really totally happy with doing that, although it's in one go. But the last couple of times I've done it in two legs, where you stop halfway in Dubai or Doha, and then you get off. It's an hour and a half. By the time you get off the plane, walk to the next plane, and then you get back on it, and then you take off. Now, for me, for that was 7 hours, because each leg's 7 hours long. Although it's longer than the 12 hours, 45 minutes, I think physically I felt better the last time I've done it for twice, because 7 hours, by the time you get on, you get up in the air, they come and give you some food, and you watch a couple of movies, and they'll give you some food before you get off. 7 hours, it'll go very, very quickly. So once you're off and you walk around, it gives your legs a chance to have some maneuverability. You get back on the plane again, 7 hours, something to eat, a little bit of sleep or whatever, a movie, something to eat, and you get off. So because I don't know when I'm coming back, I've done a one-way flight, and that was £345 with Qatar Airways from Bangkok to London. And then I'm catching the train, which is only £42 from King's Cross up to Middlesbrough. So it's all done. So the price of flights have come down compared to what it was a year and a half ago when I went, sadly, when my stepdad died. So, and I've looked in a couple of months' time, September, after the kids have gone back to school, the flight prices come down a bit, and it's roughly about 350 quid again. So sort of a return for £700, which I'm okay with that. So I can live with that. So I hope that answers your question, John. Am I coming back to the UK to vote? No. I'm coming back to when I land. I'm coming back on the 4th, and I land on the 5th. So by the time I land at 20 to 7 in the morning, so by the time I get out of the airport, I should know who the new government is, whether it's Tories back in again. Oh, I thought it was starting to rain there. Whether it's the Tories back in again or the Labour. I think they're both as bad as each other watching it. So no, I'm not coming back to vote, but I watch it every day. I like Nigel Farage. If I was going to vote, I'd certainly vote for Nigel Farage in the Reform Party, because the Labour, in my mind, Labour and Tories are just the same. They're both as bad as each other, and you know, it's what they don't tell you. You need to be worried about, and I think they're just going to tax everybody to the hilt. Well, they've got to do to pay for all the things that they said they're going to do. Being the rainy season, when everything grows, garden be overgrown by the time you get... No, because we've got a gardener. We've made provisions for a gardener to come round once a month. Again, I think I'm only going to be gone for 2 months. But if it's longer than that, it might be 6 months or something like that. I don't know. I'm hoping for 2. It depends what the results are this week. When she gets the results, then I'll have a better idea as to how long I might be staying for. But hopefully 2 months. And I will cut the grass yesterday. And so hopefully 2 months, it should be okay. It should be manageable when I get back. But as I say, we have a gardener. Please talk to her, and she said, you know, if it looks overgrown, certainly with the hedges and the grass, please cut. It's only 500 baht for them to cut the grass and cut the hedges for a day, so it's not expensive. Imagine doing that in the UK, getting a gardener to cut you, it'd be about 40 or 50 quid. You have a short flight. Yeah, I mean, 2 7-hour flights is still 14 hours in the air, as opposed to 12 hours, 45 minutes. But I like it, the fact that you can get off and you stretch your legs, and it's a good stretch your legs as well. And Qatar Airways is sort of one of the high ranking airlines anyway. 14 and a half hours from me to Doha to Philly. Yeah, the Americas and the Canadas are long flights. For me, from door to door, from leaving my house to getting into my sister's house, is 26 hours. 26 hours in total. So yeah, it's a long time, and it's a tiring journey, but I'll get there. I got my pension P60 that shows how much tax paid on it, hoping the double tax is implemented. Now, I'll come on to that in a little second. Let me read a couple of comments below. The fact that some are saying just never open a Thai bank account, you're good, sounds suspect. You're good, sounds suspect at best. Yeah, because they may ask you how you're living here. You know, if your 800,000 baht is in the bank, you need some money to live on. So you've got to have some money to live on. So therefore, you're trying to defraud the tax company. So you could just land yourself in a whole lot more trouble, because you need to show that you've got money you can live on as well, even though the 800,000 bahts in the bank. Okay, your P60 for your tax. Now, again, I've mentioned this a couple of times, and young kids making them 125 sound like a quacker 1300cc motorbike. Okay, how it was explained to me with a tax is that let's say £20,000. This is what one tax expert told me, and the other tax expert didn't. Because we get taxed already in the UK, we have a personal allowance of, say, 12,570. So let's say 12,000 for ease of working the figures out. So I bring over £20,000 a year. I pay tax on £8,000 because you've got a personal allowance. So how the tax over here in Thailand looks upon that is that £12,000 of that 20,000 hasn't been taxed because that's your personal allowance. But they will credit you the £8,000 that's already been taxed in your country, in England. But the £12,000 that you get hasn't been taxed. So they will credit you for the 8,000. Then you will be taxed at the Thai rate for £12,000. But you also have a personal allowance here in Thailand, which, if you're married, for me, is 220,000, and if you're single, it's 120,000 baht. So 120,000 baht is about £3,000. 220 is about £5,000, something like that. So then you would still be liable for paying tax on that other part of that 12,000. So you could potentially still pay tax on £9,000, and like if you're married like me, you could potentially pay tax on the other £6,000 or £7,000. That's how they explained it to me. But he said that's still up in the air, but that's the possibility how they can still tax you, even though you've already been taxed on that amount of money in the UK. Again, don't take it as gospel. This is what one tax guy said to me. The other tax guy said something different, where I wouldn't have to pay tax because of the double tax agreement. So that's what I'm saying. Even the tax experts don't know. But yeah, I agree with you. Like, my friend was going to just draw his money out of the ATM, but another tax expert says they because it's a foreign transfer, you're transferring it from your country to Ireland. The banks take a note of that card number, and the card number is registered to you. So every time you use that card, there's some transaction record gone on that, and if that card is registered to you, then that's another way that the banks could limit that amount of money that you could use. They could actually stop that card, because again, the tax advice people, or the tax in the government, have far-reaching powers. They can do basically whatever they want. So if they flag your card up for trying to evade the tax system, there's another can of worms that can be opened. Again, I wish I had some good news to say in the tax on how you can avoid it or how you can get around the system. I'm usually quite good at skirting around the system, but on this one, as yet, there's no workarounds. Or if there is workarounds, at the minute you've got to pay the tax experts to tell you, because they're obviously not going to give this information out like I give the information out free of charge on workaround for visas and things like that. And whereas the tax is different, because the tax companies or the tax advisors can make a lot of money in the next couple of years or so. Anyway, that's another tax question. So I hope I've answered your question. I probably made you think about it even more. But there we go. D in Esan, good afternoon, ladies and all. Okay, good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining. I'm from Leeds myself, Les, but I'm working on T-Sport, been there since September last year, so we've got back. Let me know when we can go for a pint. Yeah, well, I go back. I'm there on July the 5th. So if you're anywhere near Redcar, we'll go for a beer or two, no problem. Like if anybody else wants to come and meet up in Redcar, just email me. My email address is in the description, and we'll go from there. I had quite a few meetups the last time I was in the UK, and I'll do it again this year. Surely if you have to have an income of 65,000 baht for a pension visa, then you have to bring the 780,000 baht, be taxable on that. Thailand less the tax you would be paid in your own country. Now, again, I don't know if you're going to get taxed on that 800,000 baht that you bring in. There is something that if you can show you paid tax on that amount of money, 800,000 is about 20,000 pounds. So if you can show that you paid tax on that, you shouldn't have to pay tax on your 800,000. But that's what I'm saying. This is what my friend was. Well, he actually did it before. He did it in December before the new laws came in. He put 800,000 because he listened to all the propaganda that was going on about the tax. So he put the 800,000 in the December, so he knows he isn't going to get taxed for it. But that was his solution to think of that. He could draw the money out from the UK using his ATM card, which the tax expert said, yeah, as long as you do, taxable income is money that goes into a Thai bank. So if you taking it out on the ATM, that's not going into a Thai bank. It's coming out of a Thai bank, but they can trace the number, and it's a bit of a grey area, but Thailand's full of grey areas that you still could be taxed on the money that you're bringing from abroad, even though you're using it through an ATM. Yeah, retired and working for you was just done. Yeah, I watched that yesterday, and as we've just been discussing that. Yeah, ATM withdrawals don't count, but the other taxman that I talked to, he said it does, because the banks, there's a paper trail back to you that you drawing money. So potentially the tax people could say you're trying to avoid paying tax. And let's face it, if you've got a retirement visa for a year, you're here for a year, so you're liable to pay tax. So if you're drawing money out of an ATM, that's tax avoidance, and that's against the law. So that's what I'm saying. It's a grey area, but I think there are loopholes in where you can get around the system. But like as I said, for me, don't panic. I've inquired, and I'm no better off after the 2 inquiries that I did, and I'll just wait. I'll just wait until it happens. No way, Les, do I want to be mixed up with another country's tax minefield on my modest pension. Yeah, same as me. I don't get a lot. I'm just recovering now from, Brexit. The pound plummeted, and we're still nowhere near where it used to be at 50 now. So we've just got back up there. So if they punish me again by taking another 100 or 200 pounds a month off me for tax, it just knocks me down 1 or 2 steps. But it's not bad enough for me to say, oh, that's it, I'm going to move to another country. That's what I'm saying. But for me, my opinion is Thailand will shoot itself in the foot if they try to implement all of these. But this other tax expert guy said to me, there's not enough staff to check. There's over 200,000 expats living here. So 200,000 expats, each individual case is different. So they haven't got the time or the manpower to look at 200,000 tax returns and, assess how much tax you need to pay, because a lot of them, this tax guy said, a lot of them will do the tax details and they won't have any tax to pay. So it's the time and the effort of assessing your tax, and they're not going to get any money. So basically, they're working for 1 or 2 hours to assess your tax, and they're going to get nothing out of it. Times that by 200,000 people, it's a logistical nightmare. So he seems to think that it might not even come in. It might just turn around and say, if you're retired on a pension, just forget about it. We ain't going to be taxing you. That's sort of the hope that people are asking for. Also, they destroyed my bank card that was sent here from the UK, which is strange, as they are doing themselves out of possible money. Yeah. As I said, they can shoot themselves in the foot. A loophole would be to transfer the big money into Thailand in a year when you're in Thailand for less than 6. Yeah, I mean, this is what that tax expert said yesterday, because Chris asked him, if you sold your house for 150 for like 1.5 million, and you bought it for $500,000 and you sold it for 1. So in effect, you paid $1 million. You've made $1 million out of it. So theoretically, if you bought a property in Thailand with that 1.5 million, you could be taxed on the million. But the tax expert says, just bring that money in, buy your property for 1.5 million, and for the first year only, don't stay in Thailand more than 180 days. And then if you stay in Thailand for less than 180 days, you won't pay tax on that 1 million. And then come back again the following year, and then all your tax are paid, and just back onto normal living. So again, there are loopholes for all of this tax system type of thing, and let's hope that they find a suitable loophole for everybody. Let's have a look. Thailand going screw. Yes, yeah, exactly. They're going to screw themselves. Apparently, they've given up on the 300 baht tourist tax, because that was too hard to implement, to get into it. So let's hope that it's too hard to implement the tax. Wetherspoons in Redcar. I used to go there quite a lot. Well, I went there quite a lot for the breakfast and the coffees. Refillable coffees, £1.79. It might have gone up by now. But yeah, Wetherspoons is my favourite place, and I'll be there maybe 2 or 3 times a week having a breakfast, or because I walk. I do a lot more walking when I live in at my sister's, just for exercise. Let's have a look. It's a maximum of 10%. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, that's the tax. Half an hour on tax. And I'm just saying to everybody, my advice to everybody, just wait and see. They reckon that they'll have some concrete information halfway through July. So let's just wait and see. But they've already done themselves some damage. Apparently, this statistical office have turned around and said that the investments have gone down, and people purchasing properties and things like that has gone down, just for the thought of it, let alone if they implemented it. Apparently, the economy at the minute isn't doing very well. So they need the income coming in. And I understand, if they can get some extra taxes, but I think they'd actually personally lose more money. So, for instance, if there's somebody like me spend 60,000 baht, every month, And if I decide, okay, I'm going to go live in the Philippines, I'm going to go and live or travel around for 6 months, that's 6 months' money at 60,000. So 360,000 baht I would not spend in this country. So, and they ain't going to get 360,000 baht out of tax for me for staying here for the full year. So just do the maths, times that by thousands of people. That's a lot more money that the government would keep, because we're spending and supporting Thailand, than they would do even just getting the tax from us. The maths doesn't work. And I'm not a clever guy, but if I can see it, why can't the bean counters see it? Excuse me. Okay, right, let's... although I'm from the other end of the country, I have a family wedding in Leeds. Then I'm meeting some friends at the gate at Redcar next week. I'll have to take you for lunch or a beer or a pancake or something like that. So I'm back in Redcar on the 5th, Friday the 5th. So I'm sort of getting things into. Am I looking forward to it? No, I'm not. No, I'm not really, because of the expense of it, and it's a sad reason why I'm going back. And also, the only good thing about going back to the UK, it's in the summer. The last twice I've been back has been in the winter. It's been bloody cold. But this time it's in the summer, so at least I've got some nice weather. And the bus fare system is still at £2 for your journey. So that's quite good. So I can get around on the bus for £2 per journey, which is a lot. Like when I used to go to Middlesbrough to go to the hospital, that was nearly £5 to get there and £5 to get back. And now it's like, it's only £2 there and £2 back. Oh, excuse me, that was very gassy. So anyway, I'm looking forward to it in one way, but not in another. So those who bought the Thai Elite visa, yeah, they paid a lot of money for that, and that's certainly going to shoot them in the foot, isn't it? They ain't going to like that at all. So okay, okay. The things that I've got to wind up before I actually go back to England, and this isn't a pleasant thing that I'm going to talk about at the minute, but it is what it is in Thailand. Koreans, I mean, all of this. Sorry, before I go into this next subject, all this foreign taxing, it's designed to get the rich people, the wealthy people, that's avoiding tax, but they've cast the net, and us retirees have come into the net as well. So they're catching a few small people such as us. We're not multimillionaires. We're not evading the tax system because we've already paid the tax, but it does affect us as well. Anyway, okay, problem. We don't have any pets here at this house. We don't have any cats, dogs, birds, fish, or anything, because we like our holidays and we like traveling and we're like going around here, there, and everywhere. But we have got a problem, and I'm too soft in some respects. And in Thailand, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of soy dogs everywhere. Soy dogs are just everywhere. And these are the dogs, sort of wild dogs, who are just living on their own. And we choose not to have any pets because it's difficult to take them around with you. You can't take them out for a normal walk because they'll get savaged by other soy dogs. But what happened the other day, about a week or so ago now, somebody dumped the dog near our house, and it's only a pup. And sadly, it was savaged by a couple of soy dogs down the road from us. So it was seeking shelter in our house because we've got lights all the way around our house, and we've got fencing all around our house. So sort of the other soy dogs don't come into our house. So my wife's seen it cowering in the bush, and it's only a pup, maybe 6 to 9 months old. And it's been brought up by humans because it's we know it's friendly now, but we've sort of ignored it for the first few days because we didn't want to encourage it. If you give if a dog comes into your house and you give it something to eat, you'll never, ever, ever get rid of it, because now you are responsible for that dog, and that dog will hound you forever for food. So what happened is we ignored it for 4 or 5 days, and the dog was too scared to go outside of the house for fear of these other soy dogs. So it was just getting visibly skinnier and skinnier. My wife put Facebook messages on whoever's lost the dog, if they've lost the dog type of thing, can they come and claim it? No, not at all. So I do some voluntary work at Michelle's cat sanctuary, and she's got she looks after 91 cats. She's got 5 dogs, and I asked her whether she could help us out, because I'm going away back to England and my wife's going to go back up to the farm. So potentially this dog is going to starve to death because it's been humanized, if you like. So he hasn't even got the hunting spirit. So for 5 or 6 days, it just stayed in our garden, never even foraged in bins to try and find something to eat. So we eventually give in and give it some food. And what we've done now, we've sort of sponsored it, but we're not looking after it personally. And I'm very, very grateful to Michelle. She's took it underneath her wing. She's going to adopt it, look after it. But I'm going to donate at least 500 baht a month for her to look after it, because otherwise it'll just starve to death. He's a lovely little thing, but we don't want an animal. And sadly in Thailand, that's what happens, that pets or dogs certainly just get abandoned, chucked out the car or the samlar and just left to fend for themselves. So I'm going to do a video on this little fella. He's a lovely little fella. And but if anybody wants an adopt, he's as friendly as, he's a lovely little pup, 6 to 9 months. He's going to have the injections. He's going to have his ghoulies cut off so he can't procreate and get more doggies around type of thing. And Michelle's going to look after him at the cat sanctuary. So if anybody wants to adopt a beautiful, cute little puppy, and again, I'm going to do a video tomorrow or the day after about it. And because I'm taking him to the vets tomorrow to get his injection, his blood test and sorted out. And then Michelle sort of takes care of him tomorrow. But sadly, I felt so, I couldn't do nothing with this dog without giving it some assistance and some love and a bit of kindness. And he's just sat down by the side of the table with me now. But tomorrow he's got to go. And so, yeah, he's up for adoption if anybody wants to take care of this dog. And as I said, the offer of me paying her 500 baht a month to look after the dog, he deserves a bit of a chance, and that's what I'm doing, giving him a chance. So watch the video tomorrow, give it a thumbs up, and if anybody wants to give any donations, Michelle's cat sanctuary is in the description type of thing, and she's an angel. She really, and I'm forever grateful that she's actually took him underneath her wing. She didn't have to do, but she did. So top marks for Michelle. So if anybody wants to buy a coffee or help to look after this little puppy, just buy me a coffee and cents for the donation for the dog, and I'll give this extra money for the dog to Michelle. So I'm giving her 500 baht a month to look after this dog as well. And I take my hat off to Michelle for helping me out in this situation. But that's the sadness of Thailand. If you have a dog, you can't take a dog for a walk because there's many other soy dogs that'll just attack it. Anyway, that's my problem, but we've sorted it out, and hopefully tomorrow, when we take it to the vets and gets looked at and all these injections, and then he's going to get fed properly. Good luck to the young fella. But there'll be regular videos on him because he's a lovely little thing. He's dead friendly. Get yourself a 60 plus bus. Yeah. This is going back to England now for bus passes and things like that. I can't get a bus pass because I've not got a registered address in the UK. So I can't get a bus pass, sadly. The 60 plus bus pass is not. I tried to get a bus pass the last time I was there. Bangor, Wales for the 8th of July, maybe. Yep, if you come across that'd be fantastic. Thank you very much. A while back there was a dog behind you. Oh well, if you've seen it, yeah, that's him. He's mooching about. He's just laid at the side here. You could see he's been a family pet, family dog, because he's very friendly, and he's just a lovely little dog. But we haven't got time. Yeah, many times take puppies because they're so cute and fun, and dump them when they're teen or more work. I find it interesting that Thai treat the animals that way, given the Buddhist mindset. Yeah. Very strange here. Some really look after dogs and cats, and the others just leave them out to do their own things and run around again, the guy that lives that way, he's got, well, he had 6 dogs, and they're like Labrador size. So it was 2 of them that savaged this little thing. There was a big kerfuffle, and we had all the dogs fighting one night. And then we got up in the morning, and this young little pup was cowering in our bushes. And he sort of never, ever leaves this. In 6 days, we've not petted him, not stroked him, not given him eye contact, because we're just hoping that he'd just go away. But he's too scared to go outside the house. And that's sad to see as well. I'm an animal lover myself, so he sort of broke my heart when, I think I can't ignore him. And but also knew the danger. Once you give him some food, that's it. A dog will adopt you, as opposed to, no matter what I do now, I couldn't throw him out, and I certainly couldn't take him elsewhere and dump him. So it's costing me money to get the injections and the blood test done, and I'm also giving, as I say, Michelle 500 baht a month, but also I do voluntary work at Michelle's, for 1 day a month. So I'm sort of giving back to Michelle in other ways as well. Good on you, Les. Being an animal lover myself, I wouldn't be able to turn my back on the poor little thing. Are you paying the vet's bill? I'll be happy to contribute to it. Yeah, I'm paying the vet's bill tomorrow. He's getting a rabies injection. He's getting he's getting 2 or 3 injections tomorrow, and he's getting blood tests done, and getting worming tablets. So he's basically getting the full works, and then he's going into quarantine for 2 weeks at Michelle's house, and she's got a quarantine area that she puts the dogs or cats in when she rescues them. So if they have anything wrong with them, they won't pass the infections on to anybody else. And she's already got 5 other dogs, and you'll have seen that on the last video that I had. Again, they're all friendly dogs, so he's in good company, but he's a very, very timid dog and very shy dog. So that's why I know he isn't a soy dog. Where are you going? There? He just wants love and affection, and he's just hanging down around by my feet type of thing. So yeah, it breaks my heart to see other people, treat animals as like that, or just, if you've got anything wrong with them. One of the 4 or 5 dogs this guy's got, they're all like Labrador size, had mange. All of his furs, he's died now, but he died of infections and all sorts of things. It's an old guy, and he doesn't look after them. And one of them runs after motorbikes all the time, but he does nothing about it at all. And it's sad. It's sad to see. That's the one thing of Thailand that it is sad to see, that the amount of ill treatment that they get towards the dogs. But hey, that's where it is. Hi, Les. Hope you don't have any sickness when you're back in the UK. I spent 4 or 5 months trying to get some kind of doctor's appointment face to face. Yeah, well, the last time I was back in the UK, I was sick for 3 weeks out of the 9 weeks I was there. So hopefully again, yeah, I don't get any sickness. Question: Hi Les, keep up the good work. What is the procedure and the cost to take our car driving test, please? Many thanks. Oh, that's so easy. The car test is easy, is very, very easy. And you can actually go with the driving school, and the driving school will help you through the theory, give you all the questions that you need, all the questions that they were likely to ask you, and they will give you all the answers as well. You can go with a car driving instructor, and that's over 2 or 3 days, and that's only 5,000 baht for the whole signing up. They help you through with the theory side of it, and you go driving in the car for, I mean, it's not just an hour, it's 4 or 5 hours on one day. Then the third day, you go and take your test. So it's not like the UK where it takes ages. You've got to have so many hours before you can go for your test. They're trying to get you through your test within 2 or 3 days. My wife's thinking of doing that when I'm away, because she can't drive the car, and she looked into it, and it was 5,000 baht for them to do for the test. And if she fails the test, they'll keep on doing it for the 5,000 baht. So it's very, very easy. You do need a Thai translator to be able to help you to be able to do that. Oh, Jackson in France, 25 euros. Thank you very much towards much appreciated. As I say, I'm going to keep everybody up to date with this. It's a fantastic donation. Thanks very much, and thanks for caring. And it's nice that some people do care. And again, I take my hat off to Michelle. That's why I do one day every month for free to help her, because she's looking after the cats. And I did a couple of little jobs for her yesterday. Although she has work away and help X to come round and help her, majority of them aren't skilled people like myself, where I can do a lot of building and housework and not housework, maintenance work and things like that. So much appreciated. Thank you very much for that. And again, I'm going to do a video of it, because I'm going to do a video of it going down to the vets tomorrow. So you'll see that, it's a genuine thing, and you'll see what's happening. So much appreciated. Thank you very much for that. Anthony Campbell, so cheap to take a full medical check, the lab tests here in Thailand. Yeah, well, that's where he's going to get. Kind of find a good home. Otherwise, I'll continue to work as she passes. Yeah, I mean, there's some people who brought the dogs over here. I think it's hard to bring dogs over here. There's a couple that I know have just brought their 2 dogs over from New Zealand, so they've got to get acclimatized to the thing. And there's a word of warning. I said to them, they're on about coming to see me next week, but sadly I'm away next week. And I said, even if you're taking for a walk along the beach, many of the beach places have their soy dogs also in the restaurants and bars that are along the beach. And they're very, very territorial as well. So if your dog's just walking around on the beach, it can be attacked also. And I've got a friend in Khon Kaen. He rescued a couple of dogs, and he has to take them in the Samlaw. Maybe it's like 15, 20 minutes or so away from where he lives, into the rice fields where there's no other dogs that could attack them. So that's what I'm saying. It's to have a dog over here is very, very difficult, and it's not easy. Okay, let's have a look at that. My son waited 3 weeks for a simple doctor's appointment here in Thailand. Wait time is under 5 minutes in local doctor's clinic. Yeah, I had a guy come to visit me, an American guy, and he came and visited us, and he had a chest infection, and all the over-counter medication never shifted it. So the public clinic opened up at 5 o'clock on an evening time. And I said to him, there's a Bangkok clinic, which is like the top Bangkok hospital, but they have a clinic. I said, almost guarantee you'll see the doctor within 5 or 10 minutes. So he went to see the private one at the clinic, and it was, long story short, it cost him just over 4,000 baht, 80 quid, 90 quid, maybe it's $100. But to see the doctor himself, he only had to pay 800 baht to see the doctor. And what bumped his costs up, because he had a infection in his chest that tested him for COVID. Well, so he had a COVID test, and his girlfriend had a COVID test as well. And then they give him the medication and things like that. So 4,000, but still $100 to go and see a doctor within five minutes of waiting. So he didn't have to wait for very long. So it was over and done with, and he was happy with that. Something just popped up. Let me just click that off. So yeah, I mean, seeing the doctor here, again, I've got to go and have a lung function test when I go back to England. So God knows how long that's going to take to be able to get the lung function test done. But okay, we'll take it as it is, and hopefully, I mean, because my sister's waiting. At the minute, the doctors are on strike in the UK, the junior doctors. So she's waiting for these tests, and they're very serious tests, and they said 10 days, but now the junior doctors are on strike. It's been delayed for another 5 days. So for when you're waiting for these sort of life-saving or, life-critical tests, and it's been delayed for another 5, that does something to you mentally inside. So again, I feel so sorry for my sister being put through the mill. 10 days is now going to be 15 days before she gets results. So she'll actually get the results now next week because of the junior doctor strike. Les, did you ever hear anything from the American woman that came to retire in Thailand and made the vlogs? No, she sort of has disappeared type thing. I helped her find a location where she moved to, and she was quite happy with that. And but she got trolled, sadly, when she was doing, when I first met her, she had about 150, 200 subscribers. And because of what she did and, the YouTube channel that she did, she just got over the 1,000 in 3 weeks. So she was doing very, very well, but she got trolled by a lot of guys because she was 67-year-old. They were saying, what are you doing living in Thailand? You're never going to find a bloke. Not that she was interested in guys. She just wanted to come because she felt safer here in Thailand than she did in San Francisco. But because of the trolls, she just scrapped everything. And then she was talking to me, and she said, I feel as if I'm too reliable on you. And she was a very independent lady, so she wanted to stand on her own 2 feet. So she got the visa sorted out, and we've got her accommodation sorted out, and she that was it. She's standing on her own 2 feet now. And sadly, I've not heard anything from her since. And if that's what she wants to do, then that's what she wants to do. But she was a very solitary lady anyway. And I still wish her the best of luck, and I hope everything goes well for her. But it's sad that she got trolled, and because I think she had a good attitude in life, and she wanted to help other old ladies come and visit her and, look at a different lifestyle as opposed to living in America. Anyway, so yeah, so sadly, I haven't heard anything from in the last 6 months or so. Hi Les, who do you recommend for medical insurance? Well, I use Pacific Cross, and I've been with Pacific Cross now for a number of years, and I've just renewed my insurance now, and there's a link in the description of the guide, Retired and Living the Dream at Pacific Cross. .co, something like that it is, but it's a big long email. Now that goes straight to Loic. He's the Pacific Cross rep that helped me type of thing, and he can tailor make your insurance needs. So if you've got any pre-existing conditions and things like that, he's the guy to talk to, and he'll give you the cost. Now for me, I've had insurance since I was 52-year-old, and I'm 64 now, so I've always had insurance. So my insurance at the minute, although some people knock it saying it's not enough, and other people say it's better than nothing at all, and I'd go along with that, it's better than nothing at all. I pay, this year was 24,885 baht for 700,000 bahts worth of cover. Now, 700,000 baht isn't a lot of money, but I can find 25,000 baht easier than finding 700,000. So I pay the 25,000, and next year it will go up because I'll be 65 next year. But apparently it only goes up to about 30,000. So it's like a 5,000 baht jump from 64 to 65. So I'm okay with that. But as I say, if you want any more details, send me an email. I'll put my email address on here, and I'll direct you towards that. There's please 58 at. So there's my email address. So, you know, any questions that you want, you know, feel free to you know, send me an email. And again, I'll still be answering all the emails and doing live streams in the UK. So although I'm gone from Thailand, I'm not totally gone. Morning from a dual red car, just returned from Jomtien, gutted. Jomtien, red car, Jomtien, red car. Oh, yeah. Red car doesn't win. Jomtien's a lovely. I lived in Jomtien for 2 years. Les emailed Loic and not had a reply in 5 days. Oh, okay. What he does, because he's using the link from Retired and Living the Dream, it goes to his other email, which then sends an email to. Send me an email, and I'll give you this other address from the Patio Expats Club, and she's on the ball. She's on the ball. She does that. So send me another email, and I'll send you the link to. In fact, no, I can't put my hand straight on it. The card, I'm going to show you a card, but send me an email and I'll send you an alternative. I'm a little bit disappointed that Loic, because I did an interview with him in Bangkok. I went down to Bangkok and interviewed him, and we answered many people's questions. And you're the second person in a week to say that, you know, he hasn't answered the email address. So I'll have to send him another message, and we'll see what we can do. He said that there was something up with the computer system, and it shouldn't. The emails that go there should be redirected to his email address. But anyway, I shall try and sort it out. So I do apologise that you heard nothing. But Pacific Cross, I've had no complaints with them, and there's been one or two other people who said they had to pay first. And then reclaim the money back. But if once you've made that first claim, even if it's a small claim or whatever, then they've got all your details on their record. So then it's like me, I don't have to pay because I've been insured with them for many years. What they're scared of is the people who get connected up with Pacific Cross, and then within a month or so they have a big claim. So there's usually a settling in period of 6 months to a year to get over them people who try to, you know, bend the system, if you like. So yeah, you know, I would give Pacific Cross still another go. But I had AXA insurance, and it worked out 5,000 baht more expensive with AXA than Pacific Cross. AXA insurance, but I have here with the work visas. Yeah, whoever pays cheapest, really. You know, sometimes the cheapest isn't always the best. Great, will do. Drop me an email. Thank you very much. Morning from Bangkok. Long time watcher. First time catching you live. Hope you are well. Nice hammock. It is, yeah. It's it's a lovely hammock there. And my wife sits on this one here. We also have two posts. So my wife sits on here, and that one's mine. And basically, you know, I'm like over 100 kilos, and that takes up to 175 kilos, that hammock. And I said, it's brilliant. It's just nice watching the world go by, because over there I can lay on the hammock, and we have a skydiving club near us. So I hear the tone of the engine drop, and you can watch the skydivers come down. I've got a pair of binoculars, and I can just watch them jump out of the airplane. 40 seconds free fall, then they open the parachute. I've got a settee just there. Yep, just there. That's lovely. So I'll watch the sunrise on the morning and have my cup of coffee there. So we're sitting outside most. I have a lovely lifestyle here. I really, really do. And as I say, when I go back to Redcar, I could never, ever afford this lifestyle in the UK. And I'm going to do a couple of videos on that as well, because I have got a couple of English guys talking about if they tax them, they're going to go back to the UK. And I said, just wait and watch my videos to see how much it's going to cost to go back to the UK. And I'm going to do a few videos on how much it would cost if I move back to the UK. And I don't think it'll be a very pretty or very cheap video. Local medical clinics are also very good in Thailand. Wife works in the hospital for a while. She knows the good clinic. Yeah, I mean, the clinics are good. Public hospitals are good. I take my hat off to the public hospitals here. My friend has been there a few times and he's always been satisfied with it. Unfortunately, now the UK only best option for medical care is private health insurance. In the end, I gave up on the NHS and turned out to a private health insurance provider for a doctor's appointment. Yeah, I got diagnosed 11 years ago, rheumatoid arthritis. And I went back to England specifically because the doctors over here, although he was a rheumatoid arthritis specialist, give me some medication, and the pain just wouldn't go away. And so I had to go see another doctor at the hospital, and he gave me some other drugs. And I Googled what the drugs were, and they said, you've got to get your kidneys and your liver looked at, blood tests done every month because of the severity of the medication. So I went back to the UK to go and get this problem looked at. And my doctor said 3 months before I could see a specialist. 3 months. And I said, what can you give me for the pain? He said, oh, just take ibuprofen. So he couldn't give me nothing for the pain. So I went private, and it cost me £1,000 to go and see a specialist. I seen the specialist 48 hours afterwards, and he fixed the problem. And thankfully, for 11 years, I've been in remission because of that one private doctors, as opposed to the 3 months that I would have had to wait with the NHS. Not knocking the NHS. The NHS is fantastic. As I say, when I had my suspected heart attack and I went, once I'd got past the 4 hours waiting for the ambulance to come and collect me, it was supposed to be an 8-minute priority call. It took 4 hours before the ambulance picked me up, and 5 hours before I got to see a doctor in emergency. And that was getting there at 4 o'clock in the morning. And it still took 5 hours before I seen a doctor. But once I got past that stage, the treatment was second to none. It really, really was. But just the time, like, again, my sister, for the diagnosis that she's waiting for, it's critical, it's vital, just for her own peace of mind as well. And so 10 days, junior doctors are on strike now, so it's going to be 15 days. Them agonizing extra 5 days because of the state of the NHS at the minute. It's totally wrong, isn't it? Okay, right. Cloudy in Redcar. Oh, well, it's cloudy here as well. Just read that Bangkok have 5,564 motorcycle taxi stations. I mustn't look them on, see it 5 years. Son has a paid private consultation, and a month later he had an appointment for operation. Saves waiting for months. Yeah, if you've got the money to do it, go private. And as I say, over here in Thailand, it's expensive but not expensive, if you know what I mean. Okay, so look, the main reason for being resident in the UK in the retirement was the NHS, but the NHS is so bad now that many you may as well go live in Thailand and pay for medical. Yeah, it's months, isn't it? It's going to be months before you get anything done. Yeah, prefer local clinics for small problems. Most private hospitals feels like a public hospital painted in. in gold nowadays. Yeah, I mean, the Bangkok hospital, when I had some little lumps on my head. It was about the size of a currant, and it had grown within a year. So I had a cancer check, skin cancer check, and the whole lot with a doctor, and they took 3 biopsies, got the test done. A week later, I got the results, 8,000 baht, sort of peace of mind. Everything was done in like 2 hours, from getting there to having the small operation done, and it's just as speedy as that. It took me 10 minutes before we seen the doctor. 10 minutes. UK and accident emergency like it was. Yeah, when I was there, I got there at 4 o'clock in the morning. There was 2 lads had been fighting. So 4 policemen to separate these 2 lads. One was sat there and one was sat over there. And they had 2 policemen at one side and 2 policemen at the other side because they had broken noses and bleeding from. So they had to go and see a doctor. So in reality, in Middlesbrough, on that night, there were 4 policemen short because 4 policemen were sat. I was sat there for 5 hours and they were in there before I got there. So, maybe 6 or half of their shift or 3/4 of their shift, they're tied up sitting with a thug in the accident and emergency for him to go and get his treatment. No wonder crime is rife in the UK. The US healthcare system has degraded so much with all the illegal immigrants using ER and their cold sprays, etc. Pay top dollar due to the cost. Yeah, exactly. It's the same as the NHS. The illegal immigrants or the immigrants that are coming in, they can go and see a doctor on call. They will get priority treatment over and above the people that are living there full time. Had an ear infection, went to the hospital in Konkan, was an amazing place, seen that, tested straight away. Yeah, again, Thai hospitals are really, really good. Can't complain about the Thai hospitals. Never complained about the Thai hospitals. So anyway, coming on to a different subject. We've been talking for an hour now. What time is it? 3:55. So, okay. So a lot of people have commented and wrote to me saying, I look much thinner now. I've lost a lot of weight around here. And I have. Since I started my keto, well, I've been on keto 2 or 3 times. I've always had trouble with my weight. I've always yo-yoed. I don't do exercise. I hate exercise. So I'll never, ever be converted to doing exercise. And at my heaviest over here in Thailand, I was 118 kilos and I got down to 97 kilos was my sort of lightest weight. And wow, what a difference I felt, 97 compared to 118. And I like 100. If I get to 100 kilos, that's my sort of, I'm okay with that. And if I got to 105 kilos, that was my trigger point for, okay, I need to do something about it. So I can lose 5 kilos within a couple of months or so on the keto diet. And now I know I'm going back to the UK and all the processed food that I'll be eating, and my sister's going to feed me with cream cakes and custard slices and sausage rolls, all the healthy stuff. So I know I'm going to put weight on when I go back to the UK. So I've sort of gone the extra mile to lose a few more kilos. So when I went back on the diet, and this has took me 6 weeks to go from 108 kilo, and I'm now 98 kilos. So just 10 kilos I've lost on the keto diet. And I'm just going to plug a few of my little ebooks that I've got on my Buy Me a Coffee link. So to help support the channel, if you want to have a look at keto, buy a book. My keto books, they're only $3, the cheapest on the internet, wherever, and you can get all the information that you want with regard to the keto diet. And I mean, ketogenic, that's one of the ebooks of Ketogenic, a lifestyle, not a diet. The keto diet is so easy, and we've just bought an air fryer. So there's another book there now, the Keto Air Fryer Cookbook. And the keto diet, the hardest part is the first week, without doubt. I'm not going to lie. and it's difficult. But I go straight into intermittent fasting. So I eat my first meal at 12 o'clock, and I have nothing else to eat after 6 o'clock on the evening. And doing keto now is so easy. Once you get over that first week, then the body eats the fat on you, and you don't feel hungry. And it's hard to explain the fact that you don't feel hungry, but you don't. But now, with regard to one of the biggest things that people used to find is sugary drinks. I mean, Coca-Cola now, that's a zero calorie. There you go. 0 calorie Coke. Some people like it, some people don't like it. But when you're on the keto diet, you lose a lot of water in the first place, so you lose a lot of body salts. And now it is an energy drink, and it's got the electrolytes in there, 3 different electrolytes, and that's 0 calorie. Now, trying to find electrolytes without sugar in it was sort of you might as well be looking for gold dust. But now they make the stuff, so you've got the electrolytes with 0 calories. Sodas now, we have Singha soda, all 0 calories, red lemon soda, 0 sugar. The coffees now, they used to get 3 in 1, 0 sugar. So I like my coffee. So I always have the sugar-free or 0 calorie sugars. Sugar is the biggest danger towards any diet type of thing. And if you can minimize the sugar, then that stops the insulin, and that's what makes life easy. So in our fridge, we don't have any sugar carbonated drinks at all. It's all to do with 0 calorie, and this is lovely stuff, and this, you can get the electrolyte one for fitness training, things like that, and it's got sugar in it. But this is 0 calorie. So if you're a little bit podgy, a little bit overweight, have a look at the keto diet. I promise you, it is not difficult to do, and it's easy. And once you've been doing it for quite a while, certainly first week's hard in any diet, no matter what you do. But once you get used to it, you really don't feel hungry. And as you just eat once a day, and eat the window between 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock, and then you have nothing to eat afterwards, and you don't feel hungry at all. But losing that amount of weight, and I've done a couple of videos on it, and in here we have a 20-liter container of water. 20 liters is 20 kilos, and I struggle getting that out of the car, and I'm like, wow, 20 kilos. I used to carry that around on my body 24 hours a day. So once you only need to lift, I mean, that weighs a kilo. So if you just walk around with that for 5 or 10 minutes, so if you just losing 1 kilo, it all adds up and it all helps. So yeah, that's my little plug about my keto diet type thing. So do the keto diet. It's easy to do, and it's guaranteed the weight comes off, and it's probably one of the easiest diets that you can do. So anyway, that's my little plug for that. If you want to help the channel out and you want to lose a bit of weight as well, have a look at my the keto diet. There's various books in there, and have a look. And again, $3. And the only one that's expensive is the $7 one, and that's for like 101 different meals for keto. But the air fryer meals, so easy to do, so not difficult at all. Martin Bonner, there are reasons why Thailand is the top 10 world in healthcare. Yeah, again. Medical tourism, yeah, and dentistry apparently is cheap. I don't like the dentist. I've been to the dentist. It cost me 15,000 baht for a new crown, and she did say 8,000 baht for the cheaper crown. But I said no, I'll go for the 15 because she said guaranteed not to crack. And it was only afterwards when I'm thinking, well, I've had this for 20 years, the one that cracked. So if that other one for 8,000 lasts me 20 years, that'll put me, 84, and I'll be long past caring then. So I should have saved myself 5,000 baht, but never mind. 6,000 baht, but never mind. It's supposed to be guaranteed now that it'll never ever crack. Hi Les, I've started eating 1 meal a day. Rest of the day, I only drink water. So far, I lost a pound a day average over 2 weeks. First was hard, now it's easy. Yeah, the fasting, the intermittent fasting, it just helps because it gets your body used to the ketones, and it's the ketones that help you lose the fat. And as I say, I had plenty of fat, so that's why you never feel hungry, because so your body's always got something to eat. But what some people do, make a mistake, and there's a couple of people, certainly one lady that I knew that used to make a mistake. You eat any carbs, any amount of carbs, and that can knock you out of ketosis for 2 or 3 days, because then your body will go back to eating the carbs because they convert that into sugar very, very quickly. I've done a lot of research, done a lot of watching videos and things like that. So as I'm going to a party tonight. It's my friend's 64th birthday party. It's one of my good friends who sadly has got dementia. So we're going to his party, and I'm not even going to drink alcohol, because alcohol, the carbs in the alcohol, that'll knock me out of ketosis for 2 or 3 days. And I want to keep on this diet before I go back to the UK on Thursday. But I will have a little drink on July the 2nd, because that's when it's my birthday. I'm 64 then. So I'll have a couple of beers on my birthday, and that'll be it. But still no cakes and nothing like that. Basically, once I put my mind to it, I'm there, and I'm there for good, and away I go. And it comes off so easily. So I like my food, and I like my sweet stuff, and that's why I put weight on, because I don't do any exercise. But that's the price I pay, because I know I can go onto keto, and within 4 to 6 weeks or so, it might take 6 to 10 weeks, 6 to 12 weeks to put that weight on, but it'll only take me 4 or 5 weeks to take it all off. So yo-yo diet, that's me. I've been like that I'm 64-year-old. I've been like that since I was 18 or 19 years old. I found I'm not really hungry in Thailand because it's so hot. Once I get back to Ireland and start eating like a lot of weight I'd lost in Thailand in the space of a few weeks. Well, I think you sweat a lot here as well. So a lot of that can be the water retention and your salts and things like that. Maybe it's because I'm used to it, but I've got a sweet tooth. If we go out, I'll have a cake or something like that, ice cream and stuff like that. But it's the rice here as well. I like Thai food, and with Thai food over here, they put sugar in everything that you eat over here. So the amount of sugar that you could eat during the day, if you eat just Thai food. My wife, when she cooks meals for me, she always puts this 0-calorie sugar in now. So she'll do 2 meals, one for her where she puts normal sugar in, and do one for me. Same meal, green curries or Penang curries, something like that. But she'll always put my 0-calorie sugar in, as opposed to her. She puts the full proper sugar in. Sugar around the world, sugar is responsible for obesity in the whole world. You know, they put sugar into everything. Okay. A lot of times, but yeah, a load of sugar along with chili in the meals retains half the garnishment. Yeah, again, sugar with everything over here. The problem with Farangs in Thailand seems that they eat too much Western food. Yeah, there are a couple of guys that I know never eat Thai food over here. It's always Western food that they eat, because they don't like the Thai food. They said it's too spicy. But then you can eat food over here, Thai food, that isn't spicy. My wife doesn't like spice, although she's from the Isan region, and they like spicy food. And I can actually eat hotter dishes than my wife can. I've been on the keto for a few years. Heaviest I've been was 113 kilograms. Keto got me down to 91. Well done, sir. Well done. And I'm sure you'd agree, it's easy. Once you got that first 1 or 2 weeks, it's easy. I heard rumors of a 5-year visa. Did you hear about the visa? When will they pass the law? Yeah, now the 5-year... Again, Chris was on about this the other day from Retired Working for You. And yeah, it's a 180-day visa, which can support. Now, there's some some confusion in this, whether you can have that within a 5-year period or whether you can get 180 days, then renew 180 days for up to 5 years. They still don't know. But what they're hoping for is that you can get a 180-day visa, then you have to go out of the country and you can come back in again on another 180-day visa. And you can do that. You can do that for 5 years in total. And only once you can actually apply for that 180-day visa inside the country, inside Thailand. So basically, if you did that for your first 180 days, and then you applied again for another 80 days in Thailand, in effect, you can almost get a year without leaving the country. But that's the typical cost for that is 10,000 baht per application. But you can do that for 5 years. They're trying to get long-term people to stop here. But what's obviously going to put people off is because if they do that, then they might be clobbered with paying a tax because they're here for 180 days. So, but yes, hopefully that's what the rumors are. It's not classed as a 5-year visa, but it's a visa that you can renew for a maximum of 5 years, 180 days at a time. So yeah, that's supposed to be sort of getting sorted out in July time. So sort of watch this space, and once it eventually comes out, it'll be here. I mean, Chris from Retired and Working For You did a video on that the other day, and the outcome of it, at the end of it, said, yeah, but it's still not sorted out yet. And there's a lot of grey areas, you know, whether you have to pay for 10,000 for another 180-day visas or whether renew it for 180 days. This is it with Thailand. If they're going to announce these type of things, they should back it up with solid information so everybody knows and everybody's singing from the same hymn sheet. It was widely rumoured that from June the 1st, you're going to get your 60-day visas, not 30. Some people got 60, some people got 30. And now they've changed it so everybody's still only getting 30 days, not 60. But hopefully that'll be all resolved halfway through July or so. Thai food 7 days a week, and I always say no to sugar, but I walk and swim and go to the gym every day. Yeah, doing long, simple. Yeah, again, exercise without a doubt is the way. Local people with not a lot of money, but trouble is they get a taste of it. Yeah. Layers can't tax you if you don't have an income. If you have a pension only, they can't tax it. Yes, they can tax your pension because they're still looking upon that as foreign earned income. Again, we talked earlier on about with regard to the pension, you know, they can still tax you on the part that you've got for free. So like I say, 20,000, if you say £20,000, but you've got a tax-free allowance of 12,000. So you've only been taxed on the £8,000. So in reality, the Thai tax company or taxpayer can say that's untaxed income. So we're going to tax you on that, but we will give you a credit to what. So it's still all up in the air type thing. I'm no tax guru, but like I said earlier on, I've had 2 tax people tell me 2 different stories. One said I'll pay tax and the other one said I won't pay tax. So, and they're both supposedly tax experts. So if they don't know, wait until it comes out and it's published, and then you can read it and find out yourself. So at the minute, there's plenty of tax experts charging you money to give you tax advice that they are not 100% sure of themselves. Stay away from processed food. Ireland has got good quality natural food, so better stick to that for your health. Yeah, processed food, you know, they're going to put something in it. Everything, there's additives into everything. Beware, Les, that they're expecting major disruption strikes, major airports around UK. Yeah. Hopefully, I mean, I know that there was a big trouble at Manchester Airport the other day, and was it Gatwick that something went wrong? A plane broke down on the runway or something. So, yeah, it is what it is. You know, I'm used to delays type of thing. You know, I got delayed for 7 hours the last time I not the last time, the time before, I got delayed by 7 hours, and that just went on forever. I think Cambodia and the Philippines has the easiest visa scheme nowadays. Time when Thailand was easy, poor place to live is long gone. Yeah, I mean, I think the Philippines now have just done something else to make it easier for people to retire in the Philippines. Now, for me, Thailand should look at all of these things and thinking, what are other countries doing? Vietnam and Cambodia, because that's their opposition. Cambodia, Laos, the Philippines, you know, they're the stiff competition, and what's going to happen? People are going to go where it's going to be easier. You know, Thailand is for me is more advanced and more friendlier than these other places, but you know, people are going to vote with their feet where they have the most bang for the buck. And if Thailand's going to tax them, they're just going to shoot themselves in the foot. Making it too difficult, best to move on. But are they making it too difficult, really? You know, it's bureaucracy, you know, it's a bit more paperwork. But anything, they never ask for me, they never ask for too much. But for those people who are thinking about taking their girlfriends or wives back to the UK or Europe or even America or Australia, the bureaucracy in trying to do that is horrendous. The paperwork is horrendous. So the paperwork involved coming to Thailand for us as a single guy is probably one of the easiest places to come than anywhere else in the world. Yes, you have to jump through a few hoops, but there are also agents that'll do all the work for you. You just pay a little bit of money and all of them problems go away. So it can be done, you know, but paperwork, I'm never shy of paperwork. If paperwork comes along, I'll do it. I've only ever used an agent once in the whole time I've been here in Thailand. And that's but I got suckered in from the agent. He said he could sort it out for me, and he did. But after I paid him the bill, he said I could have used last year's pension payment to do the visa myself. And I said, oh, you didn't tell me that before, did you? And he said, yeah, but if I told you before, he said, I wouldn't have got 15,000 baht off you. So at least he was honest and said, you know, but it was sort of after the horse had bolted. So now I advise many people on how you can work around the visas type of thing, and you don't need an agent. But even though I've told a lot of people how you can do the workarounds, some people go to an agent because they'd sooner pay the fee and then they don't have to do any work. My workarounds, you do have to do a little bit of work to get them yourself, but it's 1,900 baht for a visa as opposed to 25 to 30,000 or even 49,000 baht somebody paid for a retirement visa. So again, the vast differences in prices are tremendous, really. Okay, December. Okay, I'll come on to another story now. What we take for granted in England, America, Australia, Europe, or wherever. Right, what I did the other day, in an effort to cut all the hedges, and silly me, I had the electrical hedge trimmer and I cut through the cable. Big spark, a big bang, and I thought, crazy. But that wasn't a problem to me because, you know, I'd cut through the cable and I was an electrician in the UK, so cutting the old piece of cable out and fixing the strimmer, not strimmer, the electric hedge trimmer wasn't difficult to do. What was difficult to do was repair the TV. Now, whether it was coincidental, the guy at the TV shop said it wasn't. It was nothing to do with the fact that I cut through the cable and a big spark happened. I think a surge of electricity went through the cable and it went in because the TV was on standby, and we always disconnect the sockets and that when there's an electrical storm about to stop this. But anyway, there was a surge that went through and the MCB didn't trip. So this is my view, the fact that I caused the surge in the power supply, which fused the TV. So if it was in England, you'd give the TV repair guy, and he'll come and try to fix the TV in-house. And if you can't fix it in-house, he'll put it in his van and he'll take it away for you. In Thailand, especially where we live, Rayong area, no. Trying to get a TV repairman around your house to fix the TV? No, impossible. We rang 4 different TV people in Rayong. Not one of them would come and fix it in-house. We had to take it to their shop. So we have our TV is a 55-inch TV. We couldn't fit it in the car. Our back seat in the car doesn't fall down, so we couldn't put it in the boot of the car. It was too big. We couldn't fit it on the back seats because it was too wide. We couldn't stand it on end because it was too tall. And that's just a 55-inch TV. So we have a motorbike sidecar. So we put it in the motorbike sidecar, drove 15 kilometers to the shop for this guy to have a look at it. And my wife asked him whether he could deliver it back once he's fixed it. He said, no. He said, I won't deliver it. He said, because if I drop it, break it, or he said, if it doesn't work when I get back to your house, then you're going to blame me for it. So he said, no, he said, you have to deliver it and you have to pick it up yourself. So bear in mind, if your TV goes south in Thailand, 9 times out of 10, you are going to have to take it to the shop. So you can imagine my next TV that I'd like to get is a 75-inch TV. Even that wouldn't fit in the SAM-law. So how you get one of them fixed, I don't know. But TV repairmen do not come to our house here in Thailand. You have to take it back to the shop. And to be fair, he fixed it. Following day, he rang us up and he said, you can come and pick it up now. He said, because it's fixed. And to get it fixed was 2,000 baht. And it was the power converter that was in the back of the TV. He reckoned me cutting through the cable wouldn't have caused that. Okay, the TV was 10 years old. Maybe it was coincidental. But I was watching the TV before I went out and cut the hedge. And after I cut the hedge, had the flash, the TV didn't work anymore. So I'm putting 2 and 2 together and saying it was that. But he says not. So if you live over here, you want to get things fixed, you can't get people to come out and fix things. A while ago, we had a washing machine that needed repair. So we did call out a guy who came to have a look at the washing machine. But he charged us 5,000 baht just to come and look at the washing machine. 5,000 baht. And he told us it's beyond repair. So he got 5,000 baht. This is in our early days, a long time ago, before you realized, it shouldn't have cost 5,000. If he'd have said 1,000 baht, I would have been up. But he said 5,000. A silly mistake in them early days of living in Thailand. And he just came and said, no, uneconomical. It's the computer board. He said, that's another 10,000. And the brand new washing machine was only like 7,000 or 8,000 baht to start off with. So anyway, so different things in Thailand. Be careful about getting repairmen out or even trying to get one. So same 20 years ago. Okay. Yeah, surgeries usually damage TVs. My friend's sound was taken out due to a surge. Yeah, that's why we always take the sockets out of the. I'm going to have to put a surge protector in. I will put a surge protection in, and that would have saved it if it was a surge protection. Yeah, you'll have to rent out a BART bus to bring the 75-inch telly to repair. I know. I know. Yeah. Call me, Les. I would have come with my pickup. Yeah, as to say, at the time, we don't like. We've got a couple of friends with pickups and things like that, but we sort of don't like to bother other people, and so we put it in the slang, and it worked, and we got it there and we got it back. Driving 30 kilometers an hour to avoid any bumps because the suspension on the motorbike sidecar isn't the best. But anyway, it's been up and running. TV, we got the TV back on, and it's surprising how you miss a TV when you don't have one. Yeah, get a friend with a truck to bring the TV. Yeah, I know, yeah. Did recommend a friend to buy surge protection and plug for the TV computer. Cost nothing against buying new things. Yeah, exactly. But as I say, I have fitted surge protection to other people's electrics, but I haven't done it myself. But anyway, a lesson learned. I'll need to do that when I come back. Why would you fix the TV when you can buy a 50-inch TV for less than $300? Yeah, I mean, the TV's coming up with 10 years old now. I paid 23,000 baht when I bought it 10 years ago, and you can get a 55-inch now for between 12 and 15,000 baht for a Samsung. So it was worth the 2,000 baht to get it fixed, but it wasn't worth the 15,000. It wasn't worth spending 15,000 to get a new TV. If it goes wrong again, then I'll buy a new TV. Yeah, cheaper to buy a new TV nowadays in the UK. Yeah, good surge protection plug costs 150 baht. Lazada. Yeah, that's one thing that I'm going to look at. It's a tax issue because the rich ones will not settle in Thailand, but cheap Charlies don't have any money to pay tax. Cheap Charlies don't have any money to tax. Well, it swings around about. That's the way of the world, isn't it? Hisense 70-inch TV around £350 direct from to Lazada. Yeah, Lazada is very, very good. Thailand's construction, but I'll put the ground rod in my house, so I know for a fact that the grounding is okay. And another thing, we had a weed. Some people call it a weed whacker, but it was a petrol strimmer, 4-stroke petrol strimmer. Now I paid 1,700 baht for it when I bought it. Maybe it's 3 years or so ago, and it developed an oil leak. And towards the end, it used to take 5 minutes to warm up. It's like blah, 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 and it struggled to go. So we took it to one of the shops around here that fix them, and he said he was going to charge 650 baht to fix the oil leak. And then Ply explained to him that sometimes it wouldn't run properly. He said, "Oh, that might be the carburetor." So if you're going to get a carburetor, that was another 750 baht. So now, with them two items, that's almost the same price as what we paid for it, brand new. So that was everything brand new. So my wife said, don't look at the carburetor, fix the oil leak first, and that we can, I mean, the carburetors can be cleaned out. You don't have to have a new carburetor. So anyway, she said, do the oil leak, we'll pay the 680 baht. We got a phone call half an hour later, and he said, oh, it's unrepairable, come and pick it up. So we went to pick it up, and all we got was a box of bits, and he looked, and he said, no, Kapot, he said, it's not worth fixing. So that was it. We had a big box of bits of a strimmer, and it was every single component of it was stripped down and put in a cardboard box. So we just give it to one of the ladies that was collecting bottles out of a bin. We said, hey, have this just for the metal parts and the long shaft. She might make 200 or 300 baht with that, but it was no good to us. So I bought a brand new one, another 4-stroke Makita one for 2,100. So sometimes, as somebody said about the TV, sometimes it's worth just buying a brand new one than trying to get it fixed. And that was exactly the same with the weed whacker. It was cheaper to go and get a brand new one, 2,100 baht, like less than 50 quid for a 4-stroke. And it's worked brilliantly. I've done the garden 2 or 3 times with it now. It's brilliant. So sometimes it's worth buying new, sometimes it's worth getting them fixed. But normally the Thais don't give up. They fix everything over here. They don't throw nothing away. Samsung TVs, no, for using cheap components. Screen when a mine and it's just warranty, and exactly the same happened. again, I've had mine for 10 years. That's the first thing that's ever gone wrong in 10 years. So if it broke tomorrow, I'd be happy to go and buy a new one. But I am going to go and get the 75-inch one for sure. I like my big screen. So we're not bar people. We don't go out drinking in clubs and things like that. So I do like the entertainment being at home, and I enjoy that. So, okay, going on to another subject now. And I did a video about this, and I appreciate everybody's advice and input and suggestions on my solar system, because I like solar, and my solar is on hold at the minute now because I'm going back to the UK. But I'm putting another solar system in. It's a 4,500 watt inverter with a 24 volt supply. So I'm getting live pour batteries and things like that. And I like to do things myself. And on some of the video, or a lot of the videos that I've seen, I'm a tidy person with electrics. I always have my cables tied up neatly. And a lot of the videos that I've seen, the cables are all over the place. So basically what I wanted, the book recommended like 35 square millimeter cables with lugs on like that. And that's what the book recommends. But it's actually not much more expensive to go to the 50 mil ones. So I actually bought 50. This is the battery cable, and it's quite flexible. You know, it's quite good. But the 35 mil ones are much more flexible. But I wanted to go belt and bracer type thing and go for 50. But what I did, I bought, somebody said on one of the YouTube things that that welding cable was more flexible than the battery cable. And this is like 50 square millimeter welding cable. It is so flexible. It's brilliant. And I think, oh, that's the answer. And now I can curve it up and bend it and put it exactly where I want. It's going to be neat. And whereas this is the 50 square, although it's bendable and flexible, nowhere near the same as this, the 50 square millimeter. But 50 square millimeters isn't 50 square millimeters when you come to cables. I don't know whether you can see that. They look the same, don't they? But they're not. They're absolutely not. And so many people said to me about soldering it, you know, getting a smaller lug and things like that. And the answer is basically to everybody that's going to do solar, buy the battery cable. Don't buy the welding cable. The welding cable doesn't work. That's a lug, 50 square millimeter lug, and that fits on there. And when you crimp that up, you get a good crimp, because this has to deal with 180 amps at the maximum. So being an electrician, you always got to have tight fittings, because if there's anything loose on there, that's going to get warm. It's going to create a problem. So a lot of people have also asked me about my solar. Why am I doing solar? Because my electricity bill is less than 800 baht a month, every month, just about. It's never, ever been over 1,000 baht. On average, between 700 and 800 baht a month. But I like solar. I like playing around with it. So even if we reduce our energy bill to 400 baht, we don't use the air conditioning very much at all, is why our electricity bill's so low. I've done many things around the house about keeping the house cool, and we've got, if you have a look there, you might just see there, that's like the screen. We've got the magnetic door screen there. So we always have the front door open, and I've got a door fitted on the back, which acts as a security door as well, which has got a fly screen. So now we've got 2 doors. So the draft that goes through the house, that gets rid of all the warm air. So it's just the ambient temperature that's in our house. And as I say, by just having them doors open, any warm air just gets driven out of the house. So there's ways and means of keeping your house cool, so it reduces your electricity bill. And so we have all the windows fitted with fly screens as well. So that just helps move any of that hot air out. So it's really, really good. But when I come back from the UK, I'll finish my video with a 4.5 kilowatt power mister inverter. It's got a 2-year warranty with it, and then LifePo batteries. They were 7,000 baht a piece. The inverter was just short of 11,000. I've got two 450 watt solar panels. So altogether, 900 watts are going to come, and that will supply all the sockets that we use, the TV, the computer, the fridge, the microwave. They're going to be run on the inverter all the time. And the big stuff, such as the shower and the air conditioning, not that we use the air conditioning very much, but they will be run on mains power. And eventually one day I'll make the system up so basically everything will be run on solar. But that might take me a year or so. But I like the thought that we have sunshine here so often, and solar isn't as cheap as it should be over here. And the reason why solar isn't very big over here, because the electricity is actually cheap over here. It's not expensive. So that's what puts people off solar over here. But it can be done, and you can do it on a DIY basis. And I've got an emergency backup system, because now the rainy season here, a couple of times the electrics have gone off, and we just flick it over to the battery emergency system, so we can have 2 fans running all night. We have the lights, them lights there are solar, same as that one there. And then I've got another one, that one there. I've got 5 of them all the way around the house, and they're running off the battery. So we have lights around the house, during the night, all night. And that makes it for secure also. We've got CCTV cameras as well. But solar is fantastic, it's free energy once you pay the payment. And it's the price of it's less than the price of my 75-inch 75-inch TV that I want to buy. So it's not expensive, and if you do it yourself, you can keep the cost down, and every little bit, it helps save the electricity bill. So I'm looking at saving like 50% off my electricity bill by doing so 400 baht a month. It's still going to, payback term is going to be 5 or 6 years, but it's the pleasure. I enjoy tinkering about. It's my hobby. So I'm going to do the solar, but that is taking second place now. So when I come back from the UK, I'll carry on doing my solar. But anybody who wants to look at my backup system cost me like 10,000 baht, and that'll run 2 fans all night and the lights all night. So it's not a lot of money, 10,000 baht. How much would you pay if your electricity went off during the night for 4 or 5 hours? I'm sure you'd gladly pay, 2,000 or 3,000 baht just to have a fan on all night. So easy enough to do. Anyway, that's my bit on my solar as well. I do all sorts of it. I've done my water filtration system as well. Everything that you do. I'm a DIY hands-on person, so I like playing about. Okay. Yeah, we like your approach to the energy source usages, application specific, whatever makes the most sense as you're doing. Yeah, again, I always look. I mean, some people have asked me. I'm not a solar expert type of thing. I'm playing about with this, and I learned a lot on YouTube as well. And some people have asked me about they want solar in to so they can have air conditioning running all night. Well, you need some big system to run your air conditioning all night. If you look upon 1.5 kilowatts, and this guy particularly wanted 3 air conditioning units running all night. So you've sort of got an average of 3.5 to 4 kilowatts running for, say, 10 hours. That's a lot of energy. So, the biggest part of that system, the biggest cost of that would be the batteries. to hold that charge to be able to run the air conditioning all night. And doing it like that outweighs, the cost is outweighed by the cost of running your air conditioning. Whereas if you run all the little circuits, like your microwave oven, your sockets for your TV, them are all little bits. You can almost half your electricity bill by just having a system big enough to run all the small appliances. Your food mixers, your kettle. I mean, that could be 1.5, 2 kilowatts, but that's only running for, like a minute or 2 minutes. So running all the small appliances throughout the day can add up to trying to use your air conditioning all night. But that's sort of an impossibility. It's cost prohibitive to try and run your air conditioning off solar at the minute. So again, there's more ways to skin a cat. And it's like the hare and the tortoise. The tortoise won by slowly, and it's the same with solar. Slowly. Just look after the small uses of electricity, and they all add up over the period. So again, our electricity bill of 800 baht, we're going to reduce it down to hopefully 300 to 400 baht, and I'll let you know after I've done all of that lot. But it's interesting to do. Harness the solar energy. Yeah, again, in the batteries are the most expensive thing. 7,000 baht for one battery. So for the system, so it's a 24-volt system. That's 14,000 baht for 2 batteries. That's the most expensive part. Okay, the inverters, 10,000, 11,000, I should say. But for the 2 batteries to run it, that's 14,000. So them are the 2 most expensive things. A 450-watt panel is only less than 3,000 baht. So the panels have come so cheap, and now you can get 550-watt panels. So you can make a lot more use of the space that you've got. And it's sort of set it, forget it. Once it's all up and running, you just forget about it. And over here, especially the location where I put it, when the sun comes up at 7 o'clock in the morning, the solar panel's in the sun until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's good. It works. Most broke guys went to Cambodia and the Philippines, 2017. Cheaper bars and living. Many put their light on cheap solar panels. Seen DIY with a cheap car battery in villages. Yeah. No, again, I've got a friend, a guy that I know. He bought an inverter off Lazada, 6,000 kilowatt. 6,000 watt inverter. Now a 6,000 watt inverter can chug some energy out, and he said, I know I'll never get it to 6,000 watts, but wow, that takes a bigger cable than that to go from the battery to the. This takes 185 amps. A 6,000, you're talking of 300 on a 12-volt system, is going to take at least 350, 400 amps. So it'd be just like putting a 1-bar electric fire on if he's trying to use something of high load, if you want to use it just to boil his kettle. So some people don't realize the danger in the wrong size cables from your battery to your inverter. This is what causes most fires in solar systems, is the wrong use or the wrong size cabling to go from your battery to the inverter. From your inverter everywhere else, I mean, basically, 2.5 cable or 1.5 cable, it's not difficult to do. I mean, I used to be an electrician in the UK, so sizing of cables isn't difficult. But sizing of cables for battery to your inverter, if you get that wrong, that was going to cause you a lot of problems. And that's why they have to be so tight. So there's no problem with that, because that will heat up and that can cause a fire in your house. And I used to be a firefighter as well, and house fires aren't a pretty thing to go to. Where did you buy the battery from? Lazada, from Power Mister. 6,800 and something it was. So with delivery, it came to just over 7,000 baht. And the reason why I bought the LifePo batteries is because they are almost double the price of the lead acid or the gel ones. But with the gel ones, although there's 100 amp battery, you only get 50% of the battery. Because if you drain it more than 50%, then you have a danger of damaging the battery. Whereas if the LifePore ones, they can go the state up to 100% discharge, and you're not going to damage the battery. So in reality, for not quite twice the price, you're getting twice the usage out of the battery, if you like. Whereas to keep your battery, the gel battery, you need 2 batteries to get the full 100 amp hour, where the LifePore battery, you only need 1 battery to get the 100 amp hour out of it. So it's a Power Mister inverter, 4.5 kilowatt, the hybrid inverter. So the beauty of the hybrid inverter, you can make it decide whether you want it to use the solar only, solar and the battery, or use the grid. So there's so many options that you can use with that to be able to save money and save energy. And for 11,000, it's got a 2-year warranty with it. So, and the battery's got a 1-year warranty with it. But the battery, the LifePore battery, is supposed to last 4,000 charges. So that's what I'm saying. You spend a little bit more money, but you get a lot more for your money. Buying the house in the UK that has solar panels and batteries fitted. Be interesting to see what his bills will be. Well, yeah. I mean, solar, it's going to reduce your electricity bills for sure. But over here in Thailand, we get much, much, much more sun than we do in the UK. Yeah, so I bought the battery from Lazada, John. Power Mister. They've got good feedback as well, and they've got good reviews on Power Mister products. Maybe you can install solar systems in Thailand. No, I wouldn't want to do it. I'm retired now. I help people out with electrics and things like that, but to do it full time, no. I've retired from that now. LED light takes no energy away. 1 watt LED light is the same as a 60 watt light bulb. Yeah, again, these ones here, they're only a 5 watt bulb. So they run all night, because I've got solar lights along the side here, but they go dim at 3 o'clock. And these ones here on that side of the house come on at 3 o'clock in the morning for 3 hours. And then at the other side of the house here, they're on from 7 o'clock on the evening until 6 o'clock in the morning. So the total usage is 220 watts all night. And our house is lit up. You can probably see our house from the International Space Station. And that's why the dog likes it here as well. That's another reason why the dog likes it, because you can see everything. Everything's well lit. We are the brightest house in our village. The amount of people that have remarked on, our house is that well lit up, it must be costing us a fortune in electricity. No, it isn't. Because each one of them light bulbs are only 5 watts, but as you say, they give out a good size light. And for security as well, it's brilliant. Les, why don't Farang combine funds to buy a small herd of cattle to hire a farmer to raise them on grains? That way you guys will have a cheap grain fed beef without having to import beef. I don't eat beef. I can say never, ever. I've had it once or twice a year. I'm not a beef person. Chicken and pork, I'm happy with pork. I can live without beef. So, and there's this, the Thai beef is never. I've had so many people, the beef's crap over here. I'm quite happy with pork and chicken. So no, and it wouldn't be. My wife's father used to have cattle, and but he brought them up as pets, and he had to sell them because he had gout. So he couldn't go cut the grass type of thing, and then they were sold for meat. and you don't get a lot. You don't make a lot of money. The amount of work that goes into looking after cattle to the reward that you get, isn't worth it. Are lithium batteries readily available in Thailand? Yes, they are. But again, I mean, with Power Mister batteries, I suppose there's different qualities. I mean, mine at 7,000 baht, but I've seen other lithium ion batteries at 14,000 baht for the same size battery. So there's got to be some difference in quality. I've gone for the cheap ones because I'm never ever going to run them to the maximum capacity. So hopefully, although my inverter maximum is 4,500 watts, it'll be lucky to be running at maximum 700 or 800 watts, at any peak time, because the fridge will be on it all the time. That's like 50 to 60 watts. TV on the night time, that's 70 watts. Computer and the high Wi-Fi, that's another 100 watts. So in total, maximum 300 or 400 watts at any one time. That's what I'm thinking. But I'm going to get a watt meter, and I'm going to do all the videos of how many watts I've used during the day and on the night time. And so basically, I'm just going to prove that you can run half your electricity bill down by just installing a simple system. While suddenly looking at it, do you really think you'll get 2 years guarantee in Thailand? Yeah, I agree. You're probably right, but they're from China. But apparently, again, on the review, if you have a problem with it, they'll supply the fix to it, and you can send it to get repaired. So it has got actually a good review, although the Chinese. But yeah, I mean, I would agree with you. The warranty isn't worth the paper it's wrote on over here for majority of things, because once you paid for it, trying to return an item over here is very, very difficult, because I know I've tried it with the printer. We had a printer that didn't work, and they were trying all sorts of things to say that it was our fault, our problem, and we shouldn't have bought that particular printer. But because I had a moan and groan with HP, their head office, they told the company to give me my money back, and they would refund the company that I bought, or the office shop that I bought it from. But yeah, once you bought anything here in Thailand, you try to get your money back. Good luck for that one. You are looking healthy, Les. Keep it up. Yeah, again, I've lost, since I went on my diet, it was 108 kilo, and I'm down to 98 kilos now. So 10 kilos has gone. And yeah, I do feel a difference. 10 kilos is a lot of weight to carry around for 24 hours a day. So now my heaviest was 118 kilos, and I'm now at 98 kilos. So that's a lot of weight shifted. And as I say, I feel healthier and much more energy. So that's all thanks to the keto diet. The keto diet, I'm a strong advocate of the keto diet. I've been on many diets in all my life. I used to sell diet products when I was 20 years old, the powders, Cambridge diet. I made a fortune selling the Cambridge diet powders, because I went on the Cambridge diet and I lost a lot of weight, but that was just with the powders when I was 20 years old, 44 years ago. Diet industry is a never ending industry. It's like as long as you've got diet products and medicines and pills, potions and lotions, you will always make money with the diet industry. Okay, pen name, never look at how unhealthy many are. Oh, I missed that one. Yeah. Don't think they do. You can sell back to the grid. No, they don't do that. Thailand, where in the UK, companies like Octopus, yeah, they used to do that in Thailand, but they stopped doing it. The grid tie. I've got a grid tie system. I've got two systems. I've got a grid tie system, and I've got a battery backup system, and they're both only 80-watt panels, and the 80-watt panel, one 80-watt panel charges the battery up during the day, and that takes care of for if we need to use the fans and the computer or the TV during a brownout situation. And it also runs the lights all night. And the grid tie system, that's another 80-watt panel, that feeds between 50 and 70 watts every hour that the sun is out on average. And that sort of takes care of running the fridge, which is sort of the biggest appliance that's running, because that feeds directly into our house. But it has also, when nothing is running and it's at like lunchtime, it does send the clock backwards on the meter. But I don't do that because that's not allowed to the Thai Electricity Authority. They don't like that. So to get an authorized grid tie system, you've got to get an appropriate grid tie inverter that's the PEA prescribed and regulated and licensed inverter, if you like. But even then, you can have one of them to go on grid tie, but you get nothing for the electricity you put back onto the grid. So then they have grid tie inverter limiters, which means they don't put anything into the grid tie system onto the grid. So yes, if they did that, there'd be a lot more uptake on it. But my system is designed so it will never ever go back onto the grid, or it will never ever feed back onto the grid. So that's how I want it to work, because I don't want it to work any other way. I just want it to cut my electricity bills, is why I haven't made a big system. And whether I'd go totally off grid, no, I wouldn't, because then if something went wrong with your inverter type of thing, then you're stuck. You'd have no electricity whatsoever. I'm playing about with it. I'm not totally 100% solar, and I'm not totally want to go 100% off the grid, because there's many things that can go wrong, especially with the grid tie inverter or the hybrid inverter. If that goes wrong, you've lost all your power, all the electricity. How did you lose the weight? Keto diet. Keto diet, that's how I lost the weight. And again, I'm a strong advocate of the keto diet. I've lost 10 kilos in 6 weeks just on the keto diet. Now, because I've been on the keto many times, when I go on the keto diet, I go straight to intermittent fasting. It's very difficult for the first week because you do feel hungry and things like that. But once you've gone on intermittent fasting, you're in ketosis. I only eat 1 meal a day. So my eating window is between 12 and 6 o'clock on the evening. And then I have nothing to eat, nothing to eat after 6 o'clock, and nothing to eat before 12 o'clock. And I have my brunch at 12 o'clock. And so, yeah, my heaviest was 118 kilos. Now, I've always yo-yoed my diet, yo-yoed with my weight, should say, not diet, for many years. I don't like doing exercise, and I like me sweet and sticky and puddings and things like that. So I know it's a price I have to pay, but I know if I go on the keto, it's an easy diet to do, and it might take me 6 to 8 weeks or so to get back to the weight that I want to stay at. But then it might take like 7 or 8 months to get back up to the weight where I need to go back on the diet again. But I have done a few keto ebooks on if you have a look in the description, and have a look at that. Only $3. It's probably the cheapest keto information that you'll get on the internet. $3 for the keto air fryer, which is very good. Have a look at this one here, the Ketogenic Lifestyle, not a diet. $3. It's probably the same as a cup of coffee, and you get all that information. And I've got several other books on that as well. I'm not going to put some more keto diet products on there as well. So for $3, you get all the information, in the PDF file, and it gives you recipes, your macros, everything you need to know about keto, and for $3, the price of a cup of coffee. And that helps support my channel as well. And look, you can see, have a look at some of my older videos, and I've done a few keto videos. Have a look at them as well, and you can see the pictures. I've even got some of me fat belly when I first started to me belly when I got down to 97 kilos. And at my heaviest was 118. And there's a picture of me on one side, and there's a picture of me on the other side. One was 118 and the other one was 97. And a big 20-litre container of water, which weighs 20 kilos. And I used to walk around with that 24 hours a day, 20 kilos. You just carry that around for a minute and you'll realize you need to do something about your weight. So if you're going to do it, go for it. Best of luck. And if you want any questions answering, I can answer loads of questions on keto stuff, because I did loads of keto. There's so much stuff out there to help you out now. When you're on keto, you lose a lot of your salts, and you lose a lot of your electrolytes because you sweat a lot of water. And now there's this that has come out, 0 sugar, and that contains 3 electrolytes, which tops up your system again. We have 0 calorie soda water now. Everything that I drink is 0 calorie. Same with Coke. Coke 0. No calories in the Coke. 3-in-1 coffees over here in Thailand, no sugar, but you can put the 0 calorie sugars in it. The biggest thing over here in Thailand is keeping away from the sugars, because they put sugar in everything. But anyway, I digress type of thing. So if you're going to do it, go on keto, almost guarantee. Healthily wise, I mean, look at plenty of videos on ketos. Ketos is a big, massive subject, and so you'll never look back. Once you've gone keto, even if you do yo-yo diet, keto is a good way of losing weight. I went from 89 kilos from the start of May to 76 kilos today, feeling so much better. Well done, well done. I remember the Cambridge diet, snack bars, they were disgusting. Yeah, they were. It was like eating sawdust. But because, I mean, I was 20 years old and I lost like 3 stone on the Cambridge diet. So I became one of their sellers because I could use my example. And they wouldn't let you sell the Cambridge diet unless you've been on it. So I could speak by experience that. And it was on powders, and it was horrible stuff, but I still lost 3 stone on it. But boy, did I make a lot of money selling the Cambridge diet, because diet industry, everybody wants a quick fix. Everybody, I used to sell hundreds of pounds of this Cambridge diet stuff every month. And I was sort of starting up a partnership with this other guy, and we were going to go and do the meetings where we got all of these overweight people to start on the Cambridge diet, because it worked like a pyramid system, the income that you got from that. And because the guy who introduced me to it was making money off, because I bought me products through him and he bought the products from somebody else. So we were going to set up, and we were going to have, we had it set up. 200 people had lodged their interest in coming to this meeting. It was in Scarborough in the UK. And for everyone that I signed up, I got a percentage of the product, the money that they spent on the product. I got a percentage on it. So very, very quickly, once they'd lost weight and they become a seller, then I'd get a commission from them. So the money, it just went through the roof for selling a diet product type of thing. Why did I stop? Because my wife told me to stop. My wife at the time didn't like me going out on a night time selling this product type thing. She said, we have no life together because you're always out. But she didn't complain about spending the money that I used to bring in. But then there's another story. There's a big difference how Westerners eat. We eat 3 big meals. That knocks you up. Yeah. But actually, the processed food makes you more hungry. You can eat and eat and eat. And the sugars that they put in everything. Don't know about fasting. Yeah. Now, the fasting is very good. And you lose your weight quicker by fasting. Hello. Next door neighbours, kids. The fasting is a good way, and it's a quick way of helping you to lose weight as well. The keto diet, they say start off gently, just have 2 or 3 meals a day, then reduce down to 2, then reduce down to 1. if you're going to do your intermittent fasting. Now, I do the intermittent fasting for like 18 hours or so. But there are some people that will fast for 24 hours, 36 hours, 48 hours, and they swear by it because, and it's true, it's very, very hard for people to believe that whilst you're on the keto diet, you don't feel hungry. So you could go without something to eat. But I like my food. I've got it inside me. No, I need something to eat. And so, yeah. Anyway, read the book, $3 on the keto. And it's sort of ketogenic lifestyle, not a diet. That's very, very, very good to read. That goes deep diving into it. And you get some recipes in there as well. $3, the price of a cup of coffee. Can't go wrong. I got well, have you looked into them big power banks with a built-in inverter? No, I haven't. Again, I think that comes into the sort of proper stuff, and the proper design stuff is very, very expensive. I'm just playing at it, if my inverter breaks, I'm not going to be crying over spilt milk because it wasn't expensive. But once you start paying big money for all of these, properly manufactured and tested quality products where you might get a 5 or a 10-year warranty with it, boy, do you pay a 5 or 10-year warranty prices for them, like the big battery systems and things like that. Now, I think battery technology is going to come on leaps and bounds over the next 5 years or so. So I bought these batteries, and they're supposed to last up to 10 years. But it's like everything else, technology on solar panels. Solar panels are so cheap now in comparison to what they were 10 years ago. Same with batteries. Batteries are cheaper now than they were 10 years ago. So another 5 years' time, who knows what the technology is going to be. It's going to be much better. So, yeah, you just bide your time. Technology comes along and everybody, jumps on the bandwagon. So you just get what you can afford at the minute. No need to go over budget. There's a couple of guys that I've watched with solar panels. What they bought 10 years ago, they could get double the amount for what they could get for the same price now. How about the almost air fry from Lazada? Making chicken in that is a treat. Yeah, my wife does the grilled pork in there, and I've got pork chops in there. Just beautiful. Don't forget to do low-fat keto because you want your body to burn the fat on your body. Yeah. I sort of do. Well, I don't stick religiously to the keto diet, but it's nice to have cheese and it's nice to have cream. My favorite treat is called the keto fluff, the keto cheesecake fluff, and it's whipped cream, Philadelphia cheese, some lemon, vanilla essence, and some low-calorie sugar, and that makes 5 portions. Oh, but boy, it's just like it's just like cheesecake. It's beautiful, and it only takes 10 minutes to make. That's my favorite out of all the treats. But you just think of the amount of fat that's in that and calories because it's the cream, the cheese. But it's beautiful, and I'm allowed to eat it. You're allowed to have cream, and you're allowed to have a lot more fats because that's what give you your calories as opposed to the carbs. Anyway, the book explains it all, and there's many videos, and I've watched hundreds of videos with regard to the keto diet and the carnivore diet, but I still prefer the keto diet. One tip: when you return to the UK, buy sweetener there from Sweden, 10 packs of. Yeah, again, as I said, 0 calorie. I think 225 baht we pay for over 200 sticks here. So I'm going to do a price comparison with the majority of things over in England compared to over here. Did you hear about the keto beers? No. No, I haven't heard about the keto beers. No, I've got to say I've not heard about that one. But you can drink spirits. I like Chang beer, Chang and Singer, but again high in carbs. So my tipple over here is Sangsum, which is a Thai rum, which is nice, and I have that with zero Coke. Okay, you just get the calories, but there's no carbs, like in Bacardi and rum and whiskey. There's no carbs, so you can drink them alcohol on a keto diet without fear of drinking carbs. Again, it's my friend's birthday today, and we're going to his party after I leave here in a little less than an hour. And I won't be drinking any beers because I'm going to drive, so I'll be totally alcohol free tonight. But it's my birthday on the 2nd of July, so that's where I'm drinking is Samsung and Coke because it's got no carbs. So again, you don't have to miss out on alcohol. Red wine has got less carbs than white wine. But again, when you look into it, diets are different. There's good and bad points about every diet. Pardon me. Lots of people said that the hardest thing about the keto diet was giving up the beers. And that's why I like Samsung, rum, because that's nice with Coke. And, if it gives you that feeling, relaxed feeling with alcohol does, then that's one of the ways to go. People mistake miserable the feeling of sugar withdrawals as hunger. True hunger is a burning sensation in your throat. Unless you do a water fast for 40 plus days, most will never feel hunger. I've heard of the water fasting. No, I'm happy the way I am. Everybody chooses their way to do it, and there are many ways to do it. I mean, it's like everything else. There's upsells to everything, with the keto. Know that you're in keto. Have the P strips, and they'll tell you. You can have the breath analyzer. I don't need all of that lot. If I jump on the scales and my weight has gone down, I'm doing something right. So I don't need to buy the P strips. I don't need to buy the analyzer. I don't need to buy the blood tests or the strips, anything else like that. If that number goes down when you jump on the scales, you're doing something right. Singer, my beer is light beer. Combine it with ice, Thai style, problem solved. Good one. Yeah, I've seen the Singer Light. I don't know how many carbs there is in a Singer Light beer, but yeah. The keto beer is called a tonic water with vodka. Okie dokie. One way to beat the sugar withdrawals is eating fruit. Good sugar that burns fast. Yeah, but again, that can promote insulin as well. Even the sugars in fruit. There's only sort of berries that are very low in carbs, because the majority of sugars in fruit can also knock you out of ketosis as well. £2 for a big can of sweetener in Sweden. In little 1,400 tablets, I use 2 in my coffee. Yep, again, I don't have sugar. We don't have sugar at all in our house. Hi Les, Graham Shed here. Did you read my email, ref the tax rules for expats? What's your take on that? If you sent me an email today, I haven't read any emails today, but the tax rules for expats, again, Chris from Retired Working For You talked to a tax expert yesterday, and when all said and done, he's still in the dark as well. So no matter what anybody says at the minute about tax, I would say just take it with a pinch of salt until it actually comes out in writing. It's put in the Gazette, and then we'll know for sure. And there will be hundreds and hundreds of videos with all the tax experts and telling you how we do it, how not to do it. Until then, we'll just see what happens with the tax. But thanks very much. I'll have a look for the email and see what it says. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm not worried about the taxes. I don't think it'll be prohibitively expensive. I'd sooner not pay it, but it's not going to make me decide to move out of the country for 6 months of the year. I did the 40-day fast a few years ago. It ruined my digestive system. I almost died from constipation after starting to eat after 40 days water fast. Yeah, I mean, everybody, no matter what diet you see, you're supposed to go and see the doctor and stuff like that. It's the same with the keto. Got it onto my glasses. Every diet has side effects, and with the keto, it's no exception. You know, a toilet subject with regard to keto, you can either go to the toilet a lot or you can go to the toilet not a lot. And there's medication you can take for which one you're going to suffer from. I suffer from not going to the toilet a lot. So sometimes I get a little bit bunged up, but you can take medication to sort that out. But you don't need to be bunged up for too long, because what happens whilst that is in your digestive system, and if it's in there too long, some of the bad stuff can actually leak through your gut and into your system, which makes you feel tired, can make you feel irritable, and it's not good for you at all. So you still need to keep your bowel movements open and go as often as you can whilst you're on a keto or carnivore diet. Sounds like you didn't break your fast correctly. Oh, that's for the 40-day water fast. You have to be super disciplined. Yeah. How did you break your fast? No sodium. Your bone broth is good for getting your vitamins and things like that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we are now at 5:15. My wife's just turned up, so I'm going to have to call this stream to an end because we're going to a party at 6 o'clock. So I know it was a bit short one, usually for 3 hours, 3.5, nearly 4 hours, the last one. So thanks very much, everybody, for joining in the live stream. So this was the last one in Thailand. The next one will be back in the UK. So look forward to that. So thanks very much for everybody for joining. And for everybody that looks at the keto type thing, have a look in the description below. There are plenty of keto books on there. $3. It'll be the best $3 you've spent for sure. I'm certain of that. Okay, everybody. Thanks very much for joining. Bye for now. Okay, please.